Greetings, fellow watchers and friends. I wanted to thank you for tuning in on this first step towards me crafting a fundamental podcasting platform. What you're about to listen to is a prototype proof of concept of how we plan to mold and craft this platform towards an entertaining and informative podcast channel that everyone can grow to love. So please forgive any sort of sound issues you may experience during this broadcast. This is also a learning experience towards perfection to get this right. I shall continue my efforts to stride forward towards desired perfection, and we shall most definitely continue to do this again. Thank you all, and please enjoy the show. And we are live. You're listening in on Musical Weapon. This is our first video recording between myself and two others that are dear to my heart. And we are coming together to speak industry talk about the latest and greatest that's happened in the gaming industry in the past month, 2 weeks, year, whatever. Anything and everything that comes to our brain. Now, we don't have a straight format yet. This is our first attempt. So everything you're hearing right today will be just our proof of concept of going forward with this platform. But we are going to start with this today because there's no better time.
Yeah, what's up? You want to talk about the context of why we feel as though we could even talk about this?
Exactly. Well, the three of us combined have video gaming industry knowledge and experience that equals past 30 plus years. Easily past 30 years. And we decided to come together to speak our minds and tell you like it is how it was for us from behind the scenes and current today, and to give our opinions on current stuff that's happening within the industry from the developer standpoint to the consumer standpoint. And we're going to begin with just an introduction to ourselves. So once again, I am Musical Weapon, and my guests are Sincere. You want to say hello?
Hello, everybody. Hello, Gaming World.
All right. And then we have
Walt Carter or Walt Cart or Oak Beast. I don't know what to go with. I've never done this before, so this will be very interesting.
Okay. I mean, we can edit out what you don't want.
If you see me on Steam as Oak Beast, if you see me on YouTube as Walt Cart, I gotta figure it out. I'll get it together.
We will.
It doesn't make a difference though. But yeah, thank you for having this and starting it.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it.
Well, yeah. Basically today is going to be a roundtable of everything that we feel has been. Well, we'll give our assessments on what's been going on, and we'll also talk about the latest that's been happening and what's about to happen within certain developers in the gaming industry, and it's a lot to discuss. We're not going to waste too much time on it, but we will give our opinions on the matters. And I think a good place to start is probably the one business that Walt had with, what was it? It was Unreal Fest?
Oh, jeez.
2 weeks ago?
Fest, yeah, Unreal Fest is very interesting.
Unreal Fest.
Yeah.
You want to give us a little insight on
what
went
was
there?
Unreal Fest Chicago. It happens once a year.
Yeah.
Well, the United States one is once a year. They do it all the time. Some of these guys seem to be exhausted by the time it's over with because they're traveling from one state or one country to the next, talking about their development, and then eventually they got to go back and then actually get to work. So, hats off to them for what they do in that. But every year they get together and they put us in a room and they talk about where it's going, what it's been doing, and what does it need to be better. So I get the privilege of sitting in on some of that stuff. And this year was really interesting because this is the first year they started talking about using artificial intelligence inside the engine itself in a real-time format. And that started an absolute storm of conversations, arguments, or I'll say put in quotes, arguments. It's kind of wild though. So we went through and we saw a real-time tech demo of it. So wherever everybody saw it, Unreal Engine or Unreal Fest, that morning, which was kind of funny because texted me and was asking me what was up with old boy and why he was standing the way he was standing. I thought it was pretty funny. But that morning, what the public saw was not the live version. I saw a real-time version of that, and it is frighteningly fast in terms of how it like makes or creates your engine. I mean your worlds. So much so that you're talking about world creation in a couple of hours. We're not even talking days. So if your database is set up so that you can use something like Kitbash 3D or say the Fab network, or your Fab network is set up so that it can go to the database. So let's say you wanted to make New York City and you've got a Fab database of buildings that depict what New York City would look like. You can have Claude run Unreal Engine to build you that city, and it does it in a matter of like say 7 to 15 minutes.
Okay, quick question.
Yeah.
And I'm sure all the listeners are going to be wondering, okay, you have to speak to them as if they don't know jack about 3D tools. What is Claude?
So Claude is a AI, that is an artificial assistant, or artificial intelligent assistant. So imagine having a group of people that understand and know where all the buttons on Unreal Engine are right off the bat.
Right.
And so you pretty much are explaining to them what you need the functionality to be. But in order that functionality to really work, you've already had to make the models, you've had to make the database, you've already had to set this stuff up so that Claude can go in and say, oh, your skyscrapers are over here. The textures for your skyscrapers are over here. And then once it knows that stuff, it's a lot of scripting. It's really powerful in doing iteration, and a lot of hands and a lot of money when we go into development goes into iteration. And the biggest thing that I see in terms of artificial intelligence that's not generative, and me and had a real good discussion about generative versus just AI early today. But what we notice is that this is the part that allows repetition to go away and allow us to be a bit more creative. So we really don't rely on the generative side that much. So what I'm seeing is, I'm not seeing a generative part because you still need to build the models. The models still need to be efficient. So you still got to go into 3D tools like Blender and make a decent UV map. Because if your UV map is trash, who cares, right?
Yeah.
If you
so basically, the building blocks
needs
to be there. The foundation needs to be there before Claude can take over with its.
Yeah, if you really want to be worth a damn and be optimized and all that good stuff, your foundation still need to be based off of the you learn on the basics. You still need to understand how topology and edgeflow works. You still need to know how textures work. You still need to understand if you need UDIMs versus a basic page. And, all of that stuff. And not everything needs a 4K texture. Not everything needs a 2K texture. So you really need to go back and forth and start to think about exactly what fundamentals at the base you need for your stuff. And I think that's, if you can understand or figure that out, then a lot of the fear about what AI can do or how it can work starts to make sense.
I like that. So, in regards to video game development, because I know you're in different fields other than the gaming industry, but you were in it before. Yeah. How feasible is to use it for today's generation of consoles and going forward? Because PC is going to be covered, but can the consoles do this? Especially Nintendo.
You guys are better answers on this than I am because you're more console centric than I am.
That is true.
And so when I look at you both are Team Xbox. Well, you're not really Team Xbox as much as you are accessibility. And you guys go where the games are, and you also go where your friends are.
Sure.
And so that's the reason, like, I would buy an Xbox so I could play with y'all. Like, the past 3 reasons I bought an Xbox so I could play with you guys.
Exactly.
If it wasn't for that, I don't really have a reason to play one. It wasn't.
Most people don't.
But the reason is that they go to PC. The reason I don't have an Xbox is because I have a banging PC.
That's all you really need, as far as their ecosystem.
Right, and so why the fuck do I need to buy that box if I got a machine that can do quadruple that?
That's exactly the question that needs to be answered from their new president, their new head of Xbox and CEO of Xbox Game Division. That is Asha Sharma. Yeah. She has taken, that's her. She has taken over the role that was once Phil Spencer's, along with Sarah Bond, which you have met before. Our viewers that don't know that, Walter has met.
That was an unreal fast swimming pass. It's not as if we like exchanged numbers, some shit like that.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, that's Sarah Bond. How you doing? Hey, how you doing? That was about it. It was funny. She was more impressed with Trevor, but Trevor's also 6'6" and 270 pounds.
There you go. What year was that? Do you remember?
I want to say that was Damn. It wasn't Seattle.
Was it within the last 5 years?
New Orleans.
New Orleans?
Yeah, it was Unreal Fest New Orleans. So that would say the past 3 years ago.
Okay, so it was this generation.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. Anything on Unreal Fest is this generation.
Okay.
So you talk about anything from 5.0 to now. 5.0 to 5.8.
Right.
Yeah.
And that is post-COVID for anyone that's wondering about that.
And I've got COVID twice going to these things.
Well, yeah, that's a different story to be diving into.
Different story for different time.
Oh, man. But, as far circling back to how well Unreal could be integrated with these existing consoles, especially Nintendo. Is it? We spoke before briefly about the uses of DLSS for the Switch 2.
Yeah.
In your opinion, can it be done effectively?
Yeah, it can be done. It's being done now.
Okay.
I mean, for what you saw for Zelda, that's what the game's gonna look like.
I seen that
the game is going to look like that.
Yeah, I believe it. That is definitely Unreal.
I'm like, that's Unreal Engine. It runs really well on that system. They have optimized the dev kit to run better on the Switch 2.
Yeah.
So they got a 30% increase in performance on that thing as of 2-3 weeks ago, right?
Nice.
So that's 5.8. Then, like you said, you got the DLSS. But the thing that caught my eye, last year was, okay, so Switch 2's been out for a year now, right? They were, right. So they were a platinum sponsor at Unreal Fest last year. They were the only platinum sponsor.
What is a platinum sponsor?
So platinum sponsor at Unreal Fest is typically, you get upper echelon exposure. But that also typically means that you're buying into the system. Because the years prior to that, it was CD Projekt Red.
Well, okay.
And what did CD Projekt Red do? They transitioned over to Unreal Engine.
Yeah, they did for The Witcher.
For The Witcher and the next Cyberpunk.
What's the next Witcher is Witcher 4, right?
Yeah,
Witcher 4. Yeah,
so
which we saw.
When we started seeing the muscle simulation and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Which kind of blew my mind because we used to rely on a tool called Ziva, which we'd have to run in Maya. And get all of these different layers. We used to have a fat layer, a skin layer, a bones. It was a whole bunch of shit that we had to figure out just to get jiggle effects, right?
Yeah.
Now they figured out a way to do that stuff in one solver, put that solver into a learning model, and that learning model drives your muscle systems real time.
That's cool.
That's where we at, right? And that was last year.
Can you still tweak it?
Yeah.
Individually?
You still tweak. Well, you can tweak the parameters, but you set the stage for it. So you set the 0 to 100% of it, and then you can play with the tween of it because that's how you make the model. You have to make the model encompassed into a volume in order to get that muscle reaction because that's how it reacts to the polygon. So it's pretty much its own mathematical solver in itself. That's what a learning model is in terms of that.
And when you say volume, that's mass volume?
That's your geometry.
Okay, yeah, that's the
so
mass
it literally you're training the geometry to react in a certain way. So like when you build the 3D model for that horse, you're training the geometry of that model's horse to react in a way to that. And so that's how those muscles work.
And it looks amazing on screen. It definitely does.
You get this shit real time. We're not rendering a damn thing anymore. It's amazing. So that part is really cool.
Man.
So you look at things like that. And you got that last year, so it's gonna make you make sure you ask yourself, diminishing returns. Like I used to ask about this, how much of how realistic does your stuff have to be? Like when you look at Fable, how realistic does Fable need for you to be?
It needs for me to be uber realistic. It never tried to be that. Anyway, it wanted to be more stylized.
That's how I saw it back in the past too. I never thought any of the games. This would be the fourth consecutive one. I never thought 1 through 3 was trying to be uber realistic. I thought it did. To me, it looked cartoony, but that's not what made me not play the game. I'll be honest with everyone listening. I've never played through a Fable.
Okay.
I've tried it, but I've never played through it from start to finish.
The gameplay loops so boring.
That is subjective, but
I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it.
So seriously, like the game. You played through all 3.
I played them all. That's it. I've played them all too. But
I've beaten all 3.
It's like look, I took the whole village and dedicated them to it was bad. I had horns so big I couldn't walk through a door. That's how bad it was. But you're like, And then you could just buy a Halo. All I had to do was spend money, and then I got a Halo so big I can't walk through the door.
Yeah.
So for me, that gameplay loop, I had to earn. It was just there. So for me, that's why I kind of. But I look forward to them. I play them. You know.
I will play this one. Will you play this one?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Scheduled for next February.
Yeah, but my thing, I brought up Fable because of the very reason is stylized. How far does realism have to go? Like, go ahead.
I want to bring up GTA.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, Grand Theft has always been pushing for realism. Yeah. It's definitely as far as this content. Like, they go through all kinds. It's realistic looking graphics on top of the fact that it's a life simulator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
of your dreams.
That's the biggest thing I'm very concerned. Not concerned about.
That's what turned me off. It's GTA in the first place.
Is what about it?
It keeps trying to be more and more of a life simulator.
There's an audience for that, though. People love those types of games.
I guess I'm part of that audience. I wonder, because for me, I look at it as a big state machine, and this is the one where it's going to be a little bit different because in this one they'll remember you, you know. So like they'll take out their cell phone and they'll record the dirty deed you're doing if somebody's around for you to do it.
Or Rockstar will, or
no, I'm talking about the
NPCs.
The NPCs.
Oh, okay.
You know, so when there's an APB on you, it's not enough for you to just get to a paint and spray, and then you go out there. That's not enough anymore.
So they actually track everything.
You know? So this is gonna be very different, but it does coincide with
some story,
about life simulator.
Yeah, story.
So did you like Saints Row better?
Only personally because it was so over the top.
Okay, that's enough. I think that's where it needed to go in order for it to be taken seriously, which is kind of weird. You had to go over the top to be, you know what I mean?
I knew where this series was going overall as soon as Hot Coffee became a reality. Remember Hot Coffee?
Oh wow!
And how? See, I'm trying to recall exactly. To what I understand, so Hot Coffee was part of what San Andreas, right?
Yeah.
And that was it was originally, to my understanding, it was originally in the game, and Rockstar decided to take it out of the game, but a mod unlocks it. It was never completely removed. It was always there.
That's a radio station?
No, Hot Coffee was that was a sex simulator.
Yeah.
I definitely remember that. Yeah, it's like, and I think it was found. Was it found originally on PS3? It was either PS3 or PC, one or two, and it was supposed to be a DLC that they decided to cancel, but they never removed the fundamentals from the game. It was still there somehow. People were able to unlock it through a mod or through PC. And it was there.
It was supposed to be a DLC.
Yeah. That's, to my understanding, Hot Coffee was going to be an expansion DLC for San Andreas, and they decided to, because I think one of the reasons why they stopped it, and correct me, audience, if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, it had something to do with the rating system.
That's what I'm getting at. Right?
It was going to be
because ESRB was out by then, right?
Yeah, way out before that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ain't no way.
It would have been. I think it would have been a touch higher than rated M for mature. It would have been the next rating up.
I think it's adult only AO.
It would have been AO or something like that. Yeah. All because of that scene in the game, and now you have sex scenes in games all the time. No.
Not like that.
Well, you couldn't play through them, but you know, God of War. What was it, God of War 1 or 2?
Yeah, you heard it. You didn't see it. You saw the bed shake. You didn't. You know.
Yeah. I never did play through that section, but that does have a sex scene in the game too.
And
it did. And now you get to play the remake of it when they do God of Wars 1 through 3.
I wonder how. Never mind. I'm about to ask questions.
That is a thing.
About all of this, you know,
we can get on that topic for remakes, but that's.
I'm sorry me to derail it like that, but I really wanted to ask his opinion about that because we were talking about the graphics and so you were talking about Nintendo, right?
Yeah. Initially, we were speaking about Unreal.
They are in bed with Unreal now, as far as I'm concerned. When you look at the ease and quickness of the development, when I'm looking at Star Fox is an Unreal Engine.
Yeah, I knew about that.
So, you know, you're looking like that was a shot across the bow. That's the first one. You think that's going to be the last?
No. What other games producing Unreal right now? I thought there were other games on Switch too that had Unreal.
There's going to be a slew of them.
From Nintendo?
From Nintendo. It's going to be a slew. I think it's going to be
them too, yeah.
Star Fox
might have been their first one.
Right, and it's definitely going to be the last.
But other games use Unreal.
So I think that next Zelda, the Ocarina remake.
Yeah, that's going to be.
That will be unreal as well.
Is Cyberpunk used Unreal?
It's going to be.
I thought it was.
No, the next one, but the first one is the Cyberpunk
in-house, right?
Yeah, that's their in-house.
That was their proprietary one?
Yes,
I never knew what it was called.
Red Engine or something like that.
Something
Red
like
Engine
that.
or something like that.
Something like that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, engines being. I understand why you want to make your own engine, but financially, I am just not there. And you look at it, because when I worked at Microprose, and Microprose was big on making an engine, but then being able to duplicate or get it, at least get your money out of it. And they always felt as though that you wouldn't get your money out of it the first go round completely. Yeah. And back then, you're saying a game engine would cost you around $3 to $5 million. We're also talking 1998, 96.
Wow.
That's a lot of. I mean, it's still a lot of money now.
That was a lot of money
back then.
Yeah.
So they really weren't banking on, I would say, a game immediately recouping the cost it would make to make that game engine. So they would take a game engine and try to spread out. So they're flight engines, or they get a good flight model, and you can replicate that several times over, and you can make your money back. And when it came to something like Across the Rhine, which was a tank game, they had to recreate that engine and recreate a tank model and make sure that worked, and it didn't. So we kind of lost their shirt on that one. So that was kind of a interesting tide there. But you think about game engines in modern, they're just more complex. They do more things. I mean, I've been making a movie with a game engine for the past 6 years, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're that complex now. We do our VFX in game engines now. So that real-time feedback, that real-time setup, excuse me, I think you're only going to get more of it. I think teams are going to get smaller. They're going to be more effective and going to get more creative again. I think we need it.
Because of AI?
Well, not because it's just AI, but just the tools. I mean, AI is part of it, but the tools themselves, when you look at how Unreal Engine is used or how you set up or make something in it, it's not a factor of it just works. You need to be able to optimize it. You need to be able to go into it and get the guts of it. So you need a good 2 years or so to get good at it, but it's no longer the technical risk of making an engine. Like that, when I think about OT Sports, and we were doing a kart racing game, and that kart racing game, I think we got a maximum frame per second of 12.
Wow.
Right?
12 frames?
That's what I'm saying, and these are guys that were going at it claiming that they knew, and I say claim because I don't know, I'm being
and that was off of your own proprietary engine.
Yes, exactly. So that's the risk of, in your proprietary, you can burn so much, and there's no guarantee that your engine is going to be what you need it to be at the end of the day. Now, it is the most guarantee of, you're going to get what you want, but if you're a first timer doing this, man, it's not worth it. You'll burn yourself out just making an engine like that. I can get or understand the point of it, but if you want to make something, make something. Like, I don't want to go too far around, but I found an interesting stat. So let's say in Steam, out of 64, and didn't we talk about this, Jay? Out of 64,000 games, 1 out of 64,000 games, right?
There's 64,000 games on.
There's more than that.
On Steam?
Yeah,
now that I did not know.
So there's a ton of games.
There must be a lot of shovel.
But 1 out of 5, 1 out of those 5 will make another game. So that means 4 of those 64,000 are there. With that rate, that means a massive majority make one game and done. One and done. And you think about
that's definitely been a pattern that's been happening.
And that pattern has been around for ages now.
Yeah.
That is like, it's like, oh, okay. So what does that tell you? If you're really about making games, keep making games. Keep making them, keep publishing them. The biggest thing is publishing them. That's the biggest thing we're going through right now is
a publisher.
Publishing and making that first game. And you live in an era now where we don't have as many strengths. We don't have to fight over Walmart space or remember Babbage's?
Well, of course. But see, you bring up a good point about that, because let me just segue into this real quick. Physical versus digital.
Oof.
We have collectors that cannot stand having to settle for digital. Now, what is your stance on the whole physical versus digital?
I'm gonna go first in this one.
Sincere, you wanna?
I'm sorry.
This is gonna go around. We can go around. I'll share how I feel about it.
A good point, and I was like, you had a very good point.
Physical seems to be a really hot topic going on right now, especially what Sony's about to do. But we're gonna get to that. Real quick, Sincere, what is your stance on physical for you as well as physical for the industry?
Personally, well, I am indifferent to it, but for a couple of reasons. Me being a console player, I stopped seeing the sense of having physical media once we got to the point where you can't play games straight off the drive anymore, and that started around 2012, between 2012 and 2014, where once you got a physical game, a physical disc game, you had to install it. You had an install process on your console. So once we got to that point, I was personally like, what in the world am I getting this disc for? If I can't play the disc, if I can't plug and play my disc off of a drive that I'm putting it in. If all I'm doing is putting the disc in so we can install the game, and basically the disc just becomes a key. And since I am an old school gamer, which three of us are, I have a lot of physical media already on hand, and I don't need any keys, media keys that I can't really straight play off a drive, just taking up space in my house. And when I got to that point, I was like, there's no need for me to have no physical disc in my house that isn't going to actually play anything.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
What's your stance?
Taking up space in my house.
What's your stance on software preservation? Is it a concern of yours or not a concern? Because that seems to be the ultimate problem.
Where people have started making the argument, like, if you are pro-digital only, then we need to start hitting up Congress about implementing protections for people who have digital libraries, so that what has recently happened with Sony yanked 550 movies out from people's libraries doesn't happen. You should never get to the point where you bought something digitally and it gets yanked from you.
Right.
Because you should still have some form of ownership right or access right to it, no matter what.
Sure.
So, if you are of the pro-digital camp, like I said, I'm indifferent. If you are, you need to start hitting up Congress to get, to prevent what just happened with Sony Inc.
I would agree.
Sony Inc. 550 movies, because it's not going to end there. I mean, today it's movies. Tomorrow it's probably going to be music and games and God knows what else.
Yeah.
So you better start working on
any service that provide. God forbid you need the service to live.
That is a good point. He brings up a good point as far as preservation. So it is ultimately up to the consumer to push the whole idea of preservation of what they're buying. Now, people that from other mediums don't have this problem, like clothes, food.
Those are tangible.
You don't
the tangible stuff, But I mean, you have people that are shoe collectors. They don't have this kind of problem.
That's because shoes are always going to be physical.
Exactly. There's no such thing as digital anything else except for game like
entertainment.
Entertainment industry has migrated to
entertainment and corporation.
Well, you about to see it now, like GTA 6, right? You're gonna have your whole online component. You think of all the millions of dollars that GTA Online currently makes.
Yeah.
And half of that is people in their clothes and them trying to express themselves, right?
Yeah,
so
cosmetic.
So when you say shoes, I mean it is digital shoes.
No, he's talking about like actual clothes.
Yeah,
I know. I'm talking about tangible, but my point is that the digital aspect of that is here.
Well, that's
it's here it's here.
Should it had ever been here? Should physical have been forever?
It's such a monetary the lure of being able to express yourself to everybody else is such a lure that as a capitalist, it's too alluring to not do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like.
Well, I understand convenience, but why don't people think of the long game? Why don't people think of I want it forever? And you can't get that. You can't get guaranteed for that forever with digital, can you?
It's because of that C word you just brought up.
Capitalism? What's that?
Convenience.
Oh.
8 times out of 10, convenience wins.
Definitely does now. Because there's a choice.
You got to think 8 times.
Right.
Anytime convenience comes into play, most of the time it's going to win out.
Like for real, like if it took me, 20 hours to get the banana suit, I'm not getting a banana suit. You know what I mean? Right. So I see what you mean. Like
that's why pay to win exists.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I definitely agree with that. Pay to win seems to be a concept for people that don't like the grind. They want it here and now,
perfect example.
and they're willing to pay for it now.
Mm-hmm.
to have it for prestige or for cloud or for.
I think it's self-expression a lot of times too.
That's definitely an element.
I'm gonna give you a
sure
perfect example of how convenience just completely went out. During COVID, what was the big thing that corporations were implementing? It was teleworking.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they had no
And
choice.
I knew the minute teleworking became a thing, that it wasn't going away. I was like, it's too convenient. Once certain corporations found out that they didn't have to pay so much for utilities and rent for buildings and office buildings, I knew a lot of them were going to be like, well, why in the world am I going to pay rent for this office space and utilities when I could just have my staff just telework?
And that's what Hollywood is going through right now.
And the only reason why that's still here is because of that C word I just talked about. That convenience. Convenience just wins out. It's that evil snake that snakes its way through every part of our life.
With the convenience?
Convenience.
Well,
it's a snake. It's a snake.
Just on that whole subject of convenience.
Because of ingenuity. People will always try to find more convenient and easy way to do everything.
Should convenience be an element that is acceptable for corporations? Because now we've taken convenience and given it to them in their powers, and they now are selling software. They will soon to be selling software. This is going into the Sony thing. Just the other day, let's go ahead and jump into that. Sony, this past week, has officially announced that starting in 2028, they will no longer be printing physical media as far as Blu-rays and DVDs going forward for their games. And I do believe that might also cross over into films too. I think they might also stop physical media for their films as well.
I want to get some confirmation on that
part.
But at least they officially came out and said,
for the PlayStation, for sure, no more digital games.
I don't know.
They're going to
see no more physical media.
It just makes me more of a Nintendo fan. I still love so we go back into the concept of tangibility. I mean, I still love the idea of my stuff being on a cartridge or some sort of media device.
I like it too.
I was never a big fan of the disc as much as I was the cartridge.
Okay.
Like I'm.
Is there a big difference to you, or is it just you just like a smaller?
I guess it's the format that the manufacturer, that the designer of the system wants to go with. Because for me, I was wondering why they didn't go with USB sticks. I always thought that cartridges would go to a transport to USBs of some sort. Like imagine like if you got your game on a USB and it's designed around the USB, that stick is designed around it, and you plop it in like you would your traditional, but it reads like a USB, but in a C-stick format or high speed rate, and we would still read directly to the motherboard or the bare metal of the system because it's right there. So I'm kind of.
It might stick out like a sore thumb unless it's self-contained.
You depending on the console you can make a compartment because you'd be making USB sticks that fit to that system layout or design.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it'd be like it'd be like flush with the machine.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you mean.
It's like a modern console. For whatever reason, I always thought
there's different shapes for USBs.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
Then I always thought that one of the console systems would do that, and the Switch kind of did it in that they kept the square format and you could put it. I kind of like that shit, but I really thought that some of these games were going to get that massive. Then charge me the extra $15 to $30.
They only seem to be getting bigger every generation.
They're getting bigger. It's kind of
store size.
Sidewise. I thought our game that we're working on right now is going to be like 80 gigs download. Kind of find out it's going to be 17. So
I didn't think it would be that high.
Because
of assets. If you're using high-res assets, then sure.
We took some of the movie assets and converted them to game assets, and forgot to convert the textures. And so we had textures.
Man, what resolution was that?
You were 40,000.
40,000K?
40,000K.
I didn't even know that exists.
We started calling them Warhammer textures because 40K. But it was like that shit. It was like that shit. They was so because they were UDIMs. I guess UDIMs are no joke. They just take up a lot of space. They take up a lot of memory.
Yeah, they would.
Yeah, so we ended up converting, but that was kind of funny. But going back data-wise, it's all about data packets. I thought for whatever reason a USB's type of setup would be kind of slick. I guess not. I don't know. Maybe it just cost too much.
Man. Well, Well, I'll share my opinion on physical because I promise I would. Physical for me, and as well for the industry. Well, okay, I'm the type of gamer, and I might get flack for this. I'm the type of gamer that kind of does nowadays go with the flow. Before, I probably would have had a problem with this.
Yeah.
In the past, when I was younger, I probably would have had a problem with this. Now that I'm older,
Right.
wiser, and more accepting of the evolution of hardware, because this is what it's all come down to. It's the evolution of hardware and the evolution of software. And when you're talking into software, I will have to partially agree with Sincere's about the whole convenience thing seems to be where the casual players want to be. Now, these companies, and correct me if I'm wrong, you two guys, these companies, especially the big three, Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft, they all really want to lay their future roadmap based on the attitudes and the acceptability of the casual players, because there's much more of them than all of us combined, all of us hardcore gamers combined.
That's what I'm sorry. That's why we're there for cell phones.
Yeah, it definitely that does apply for cell phones too. Yeah. But people used to, for instance, anybody that would buy an annual game such as NBA 2K or Madden or WWE 2K, any annual game that would come out in the past, and I'm talking about 10, maybe not even 10, maybe about 5 to 6. No, I'm going to go further than that. 8 to 10 years ago, people used to love those midnight releases at GameStop.
I missed that. I do.
That was sociable. Yeah. There was a sociable event that everybody felt special about.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that's the thing I miss about GTA 6. Like, this is not going to have a midnight release. I'm literally going to sit there, order my PlayStation, which I can finally blow the dust off for.
Yeah.
And
where is she? She's somewhere in the corner. Yeah. She's out there.
And as you play it. But damn, but yeah, you said it. That's a big part for me.
That was a big part of gaming history as a whole. As a consumer and us customers, we loved it. We were loving the fact of, even though regardless of the temperature, because that was always a factor, regardless of any of that, we were so driven, we were so passionate about picking up that latest version of an annual game and meeting new people that you were in line to. And most of those people would end up exchanging contact, exchanging gamer tags and stuff.
It was gamer tags. It really wasn't like the internet connections that you have with today.
Yeah.
You didn't even have high speed.
We have a lot of antisocial people out there, but gaming brings people together.
It does.
It absolutely does. Even if you are a social butterfly or someone that's very antisocial, gaming releases, console releases too, like, they were huge. Yeah. Console releases definitely did that, but gaming releases that we were all accustomed to, picking up a physical copy of that game,
I still felt
brought people together.
Yeah, I still found myself going out on Switch launch and looking at folks do for their pickup. Yeah. And I just went to go pick something up.
I would do it too, just out of curiosity, because I didn't get in line for anything, but I would go out there just to see how big this line is for this game. And yeah, you can see it plain as day. If that line is big, this is a success. It
was around the corner. That thing was around the corner. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Okay. And for those annual games, they were consistent. They had big, huge releases, big marketing pushes too. We're gonna get to that at some point. Marketing push, but yeah, physical release had its purpose, and now they're taking that away from us. And it's not like we are given a choice about it.
Question: is it just PlayStation?
Oh, I'm sure this is gonna be everybody. It is gonna eventually.
I don't think so. I don't think it'll be.
I don't know. It might across board.
Yeah, okay, I feel like
it may not be this generation.
It'll eventually be everybody.
It may not be this generation,
but
eventually.
Only reason I say not is because we have the concept of the Game Boy still, right?
Yeah.
There's still money in selling a tangible product to them, because their philosophy is not that of Microsoft or Sony. Sure. Their philosophy is more of a toy company. And toys, at some point, have to have some form of tangibility to them, right?
I agree.
Some form, right? It can't,
I agree.
And so
they still have a virtual store.
They will always have that.
Yeah.
And it might even be that a higher percentage, if not already, on that game shop. I'm pretty sure it already is.
Yeah.
But as their philosophy, I don't see them doing it, whatever reason.
Ever, or just not anytime soon?
Ever.
I would never say never in this
I would
generation.
say ever for them because they always have some type of shtick. They always have something. They always have something tactile to their systems anyway, right?
Yeah.
So
they are definitely the gimmick.
They might and then they might surprise me and just be like, "No, this is just lean and mean and all digital." But that's just too techy for them. That's this.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, they are now starting to kind of play around with cloud storage stuff too. But,
yeah, and they will. But if they're not losing a buck on it, yeah, I don't see no reason for them to. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they'll always be considered. Even going into the future, today and going in the future, they will be considered a budget style type of console solution.
And in this day and age, that ain't bad.
Yeah, we kind of need it. We definitely need it
right now. And when you look at the diminishing returns of realism in graphics versus what they need to be.
Yeah.
Switch 2 can run a form of Call of Duty, and it'll look damn good.
They're getting a Call of Duty this fall.
So there you go.
So they're getting one. Yeah.
Game over.
Yeah.
In terms of how strong does your entertainment need to be there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Until we get to the point where we get the simulators where you're feeling the pain of it. I mean, I don't know if I don't want that, but I'm sure somebody does. But
yeah.
How much further do we need to go for it to be viable for us? I'm not just saying we just should straight up stop, but at some point, if it costs it I guess can we get into some of this? We talk about the cost of consoles versus what they are versus what they used to be.
We could definitely go into that.
Because I mean, oh my god, I'm like,
let's talk about that. Okay, all right. So you made a good point. So, within the past 2 weeks, we're going back to that. Within the past 2 weeks, we got to look at what's been coming out of Microsoft and Xbox. So, recently, I want to say about a week ago, Xbox has come forth and, plain as they said, and they said it early, I have to give them props for this one because it's a whole 30 days from now. Well, now, not so much 30 days. But just the other week, they came out and publicly announced that starting August 1st, 2026, they plan to do another price hike for their consoles for the second time in 2026.
Really?
For both consoles, yes, and they also plan to discontinue their top tier one. I'll get that explained.
All right, so
I'll explain.
Please.
So, to my understanding, we're gonna start with the lowest tier. Yeah. Xbox Series S, as in Sam, will have a $100 price adjustment from their current price.
Adjustment is an increase.
Yeah, there's a price increase, which I must also say Sony had one too recently. But Xbox Series S will retail for $499 starting August the 1st. Now that is the same retail price of the original price release of the Xbox Series X.
Okay.
Same price, same release price. Back then, the Series S, as in Sam, was released for, what was it, $400?
It was $400. Okay.
It was $400?
I don't forever. So.
Then their next SKU, which is the Xbox Series X, which currently retails for, I believe it is $650 for the 1 terabyte. 1 terabyte. We're gonna do the physical. Right. The physical is $650. When it hits August the 1st, it will have a price adjustment of an additional $150.
$800.
So it will be $800 retail
for an Xbox
that is 6 years old. Well, it will be a full 6 years old this November. But yes, $800. Just $100 less from a PlayStation 5 Pro. Now this is all due to, which people want to say, I mean, it's probably true, we're having a RAM crisis now, which everyone in the industry and around the industry realize that this is a problem and is causing a domino effect in all directions.
Yeah.
and which does include the gaming industry.
Yeah.
And anyone that's a platform holder, and we're looking at you, Steam, Valve, which is Steam Machine. Yeah, everyone is now suffering through the shortage and scarcity of being able to secure RAM for their products.
Did y'all see that Twitter post about the guy who got the early Steam box?
Would you be talking about the red line of death? I heard about that.
Red line. No, this guy was talking about like when he got it and how underwhelmed he was about the performance of it.
But didn't he not read the review? Well, not reviews, but did he not read the specs? Because I wasn't blown away by the specs.
Aren't the specs on the PS5 better?
On a base PS5, yes.
On a base PS5.
On a base, it's just below a base PS5, and I don't believe it's as strong as an Xbox. Yeah, it's not as strong as an Xbox Series X.
Wow.
So yeah,
Right,
they're both. It is as far as brute force and capabilities and performance.
So a Series X is gonna run you 800.
Correct.
PS5 regular is gonna cost you what, 7? I'm just guessing.
750.
$750.
I think it's like $750 for PS5 regular.
Tax is $800.
Yeah. And a PS5 Pro. A PS5 Pro is like $900 if you want and that's the digital version.
And the Steam box is $1,000 starting.
Yeah, without a controller.
Without the controller. Segway.
Ooh.
That controller is the bomb though.
I haven't had my hands on it. I have to take your word for it.
I will wait as long as
you already pre-ordered.
Oh yes,
right?
sir.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
As long as I need to, but yeah, that controller, that is the saving grace to all of this for me. But
does it feel like playing a standard controller, or does it feel like a mouse?
They had to make sure to be under $100. They had to cheapen out on some of the plastics, so that part doesn't feel like ultra premium. But I gotta tell you, after having 2 Xbox Elite controllers and they both died on me like they did, y'all can keep your effing premium feel so long as you execute tightly. And this thing executes pretty tightly.
I never bought.
So as soon as I was like, okay, I gotta do a sneak preview of playing one and.
Kind of one. Would that be your primary controller going forward?
For PC, it'll be.
For PC.
And the thing is that I love the Celeron not the PlayStation, the Switch 2, the Pro controller.
Yeah.
I love that thing. But I can't wait to get that controller. So I'll be in line for as long as I have to. But yeah, I didn't mean to go off of that. Yeah, in terms of the plight of actual consoles, it's really so we're talking 5 years in this console generation, right?
Yeah.
5 years in.
5 years is a month.
They're more expensive than they were when they started. And that's a first, right?
This is the first we've ever witnessed this outside of scalpers. This is like the first we've ever seen it.
And so we're talking as the end result of data centers and whatnot taking up all the resources.
All the RAM,
RAM. Yeah. Hardware scarcity is the main problem. That doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon.
Yeah, I spent a king's ransom on a 8 terabyte spin drive. I think it cost me a little over $400 after taxes. Of course, 8 terabyte. That same drive 2 years ago would have been like $250. You know?
Yeah.
Something like that. And I look at like a 1 terabyte M2 board. You know, they asking like $175 for like the mid-range. If you want a real good one, you talking $250, $280 for a 1 terabyte M2 board. And it's like, this can't last, especially for the rest of the actual people for it, because we need to be able to do computing on an individual basis. All this cloud shit ain't gonna work. And I'm a proponent of technology moving forward, but don't you dare take away the freedom for me to make my shit.
I understand that. Yeah.
So so that's where I'm at right now, and I think that'll change because I really don't think that the data server situation is going the way that they thought. Did y'all hear about them? Are they asking for bailouts or some shit?
From the government?
Well, yeah, they were going down.
I didn't hear about that.
It's gonna be ugly. I don't know, y'all.
Shit. But those data centers, are a lot of those data centers not even in the U.S.? They're in other countries.
Well, yeah, we got some in other countries. Some are doing it smarter than others in terms of how, but over here, we're not doing it smart at all. So
yeah, I think we're brute forcing it.
Yeah, we're brute forcing it, and that just is. So,
So in relation to the video game industry, this seems to be a problem that we can't solve on our own.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to just bear through with it. And individually, we're going to have to make our own private decisions. Is it worth us staying in this hobby in the long run anymore?
It shouldn't be a rich man's hobby.
It shouldn't be. But it is definitely.
That's not no.
it's escalated to that point. It really is. It was never like this. Gaming. I've made a video in the past, and I stated this before. Gaming, video gaming, and video gaming as a whole, the hobby has always been expensive, but it has not been excessively expensive.
Right, and right now it's excessively expensive. It shouldn't. I mean, we used to be like, okay, I was thinking about this a little bit. Here's my problem. In terms of affordability, when you're saying convenience, when I think about the next when I think about PS6, right? They talk about PS6 or whatever.
They're already talking about it, right? Like we really need
exactly. Like, but that part too, right? For real. Like we really don't need that shit right now.
Yeah.
That said, when you think about accessibility, convenience, we will finance anything.
Yeah.
In our culture, we will finance.
Yeah, we'll go into debt for it.
And it's not
if we want it better.
Right, and as if we don't do that already through credit cards or all that.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, it behooves the console maker to be a, like how cars have, like, say, Ford Motor Credit.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Sony console credit?
There's one from Microsoft.
Oh, well, see, there you go.
They already have one. They introduced it like a couple years ago. Yeah. No one signed up for that. No one's. I think it's backed by Mac.
It's going to be back with $1,000 console.
That too. Yeah.
It's going to be.
It's the next console for sure. It's going to be $1,000.
It's going to be a bloodbath.
I didn't believe it before, but now I do. I do believe that $1,000 consoles will be a reality that we cannot avoid.
And at first I was like, it's not going to happen because of kids. But it's going to happen because of kids in terms of getting them what they want.
Yeah.
So it's
like
I would be like, yeah, okay, all right.
When all three platform holders,
and the reasoning will be you'll get less games. That's the reasoning.
In theory, you'll be buying less games.
When has that ever worked?
Not very well. I mean, we've had this isn't the first time we had a high priced console in the history of gaming.
Right.
Back in the 90s, everyone remembers Neo Geo and the 3DO.
Oh.
Neo Geo being a cartridge based machine, but the 3DO, which was a CD based machine, and you're like, what?
You come visit Micropro from time to time. Remember when I had the 3DO machine? And I turned into pretty much a CD player. That's
a music CD player? Because, yeah.
Wait, that thing.
Yeah, they all did.
And the thing about it had a gorgeous Madden title on it. But yeah, that thing spent more time as a CD player than it did anything else.
The 3DO itself had...
It's coming back, though.
Someone else said it might be. The 3DO...
more of the shit. As I'm concerned.
If memory serves correctly, the 3DO, that was 1994, 1990.
Yep, that's around the time.
3, and it came out. I remember seeing a price tag of $600 for it.
Yeah, that's right.
I remember that.
That's right. Yeah, no, we talking hella expensive. Yo.
Yeah, and that was back when we had the Sega Genesis. We had a Genesis. We had Super Nintendo. I think even at that point, well, Saturn was soon to come out. Okay. We still had Sega CD rocking back then.
We had a dev kit, so
yeah, you had a dev kit. That's why you said that. Yeah, but it's gaming was much more accessible for kids and teenagers because we weren't dealing anything. We weren't dealing with consoles above $500. We'd be lucky to get a Super Nintendo for anything more than $200.
And it's not to say that it's not that you can't pay for that stuff. I mean, I guess the modern person would really needs to be on that hustle to really. I mean, it's not like you didn't have to be back then. Because what did we do back then? We cut grass.
Yeah. Minimum wage was a lot less.
Minimum wage was what? Right. We talking. Yeah. A lot
so I mean, even with inflation, it's like. We're back at this again, but everybody's doing it. Not just the one isolated one that think I'm gonna get away with murder. Everyone across the board, except for Nintendo, I'll set them aside. Everyone across the board. They got
a price hike too.
That is doing. They did, but everyone across the board that was doing a tangible and reasonable console is now is forced.
Yeah.
They're forced to raise their prices. Now, I know they don't, honestly. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. They don't want to do it, but they got to do it. Because they're no longer going to pay those kind of high prices.
In the way that they're being constrained right now. They really have a choice. But
yeah.
I don't see it being sustainable, but I don't know if we'll have enough fighting back because we're so used to, like I said, convenience. And the convenience of the phantom 24% interest rate, if it ain't in our face, it's not in our mind. For most of us.
Okay. Right? All right, then. All right, we've been talking for a while on this one. So let's do one last thing before we wrap this up.
Okay.
The next generation of consoles, what we just mentioned, which will be PS6, we know for sure. We don't know what the next Xbox will be called, but we know that they're engineering one. Should they delay these consoles for the foreseeable future, or should they just pull the trigger and release it, knowing that there is an audience, but knowing that they won't sell as many?
Too late. They got to. They have to. It's too late because we've already seen advertised a game for PS6. We've already seen it.
Did you know?
Yeah, there was some game. I forget the name of it, but it said scheduled for PS6 release.
You actually saw
it was theoretical. You know, it might as well have been on that.
That was Unreal Fest.
No. This was. I have to find it again. This is a couple of 2-3 months ago back. No, not even that far back. And I was looking. No, this is right at the top, right around Summer Game Fest. And
that was like May, right? Yeah, it was
around
May.
that time. Yeah, and it was at the end of some show, and they were like showing it was a third person shooter action type style game.
Was that first person? Wait, was that a first party game?
That's the thing. I don't think it was. It might have been a China game. And
okay.
And
I thought you were about to say you saw Naughty Dog's game.
No.
Or God of War.
No. This thing was. I find it when I'm thinking about it now. It feels like it would have been a Chinese game.
Yeah.
Kind of like when Wukong came out, and like when we first saw Black Myth Wukong. By the time it did come out, what was it? 3 years?
Wukong. I think I saw it for the first time in 2024.
Somewhere, yeah. Okay. So it was a while though. So in the development of it. So I'm wondering if this is also one of those cases, but I think it's too late. I think since they've already announced that type of thing, you've already said it. There is enough people out there that will buy it just to buy it. But will there be enough games for it? Hell no.
I don't think so.
Hell no.
Think so.
The good news is that whatever I make for the PS5 will play on the PS6.
I think that has to be the standard. I think cross-platform. I think cross-platform is a permanency now in the console realm. Yeah. There's no avoiding it. They have to release games on multiple consoles.
That's the only way for me in terms of a consumer that is financially viable.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I agree.
That's my opinion.
So exclusivity
still matters.
Exclusivity within the ecosystem, yes, but does exclusivity is exclusivity helping or hurting a platform hold?
I think it helps.
If done right?
If done right, I think it helps.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what's my point and why are you special? Why? If I can play you on my PC, you gotta justify me playing on your system. You know
True. I can understand that as far as like in regards to Microsoft and Xbox. I lost my train of thought. Of course, I can edit this.
What did you say? Yeah, nobody.
We were talking about exclusivity. Yes. Exclusivity seems to be it's a hot topic, especially in regards to Xbox, because they're trying to restore. Well, they're attempting to restore a form of exclusivity back with two titles, but I assume that they probably will continue on this trend. But they're doing a U-turn or a course correction on this whole exclusivity thing. Sony and Microsoft, Sony and Nintendo never really faltered too far from it. Sony dipped their toe into other platforms, but they're like, no, we want our single player games.
Take it back, yeah.
Yeah, we want our single player games to remain only on one platform.
Killzone, that's what I had in my head. I'm sorry.
Well, Killzone was a great game. I used to love that game. But that is a hot topic. That's probably something that we can dive into another time. But I I'd like to thank everyone for listening in on this. Thank you, Walt, for bringing in your insight and your experience into this. And we'll definitely have to do this again.
Absolutely.
I thank everyone for listening. I thank Sinceres for being here. Also, we are once again we've come together. This is our first attempt at this. We'll definitely do more of these. And I hope that
we just scratched the surface.
we definitely just scratched the surface. There's a lot more to talk about, but we've already over an hour, and we're just gonna conclude this. So, thank you all for listening. We'll be back again at some point again, and thank you for listening. We're signing off. This is Musical Weapon. Come again. We'll do this again.